Yo, you wanna see something cool? No? Well, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Bombs away, blowing up the White House on the list. I need it right now. Shimmy, shimmy, y'all put me in a box in the Hall of Fame.
The MJM Pictures YouTube channel does not condone or endorse any forms of terrorism, violence, assassination, or any other forms of illegal activity. This video is a work of satire and is solely intended for comedic and entertainment purposes only, and should not be taken literally. Any resemblance to real-world events taken after filming is purely coincidence. Viewer discretion is advised. Furthermore, the MJM Pictures YouTube channel does not condone or endorse any actions taken by the United States government or military from 1776 to 2024. Previously on...
Bomb the White House.
Yeah.
Bomb the White House.
Bomb the White House.
Bomb the White House.
Bomb the White House.
The White House, you should bomb it. Nuke,
Yeah.
nuke.
Anyway, we are going to bomb the White House.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're gonna bomb the White House.
Bomb the White House.
Bomb
Yeah.
it.
Bomb.
Bomb, 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 bomb. Okay. I left my house at 4:44 in the morning, super tired, but I had to run over to Justin's to pick him up and drive to the Charlotte train station. But first, of course, about to get Dunkin' Donuts. Oh. So yeah, we got some breakfast. Justin got a strawberry donut, and I got an iced hot chocolate and a bacon, egg, and cheese before we continued on to the train station. Here at the train station. TV.
Train station. The train station.
We were then able to finally board our train, which was supposed to take around 10 hours from Charlotte to Washington, D.C., which would have been a perfect amount of time to catch up on sleep. However, thanks in large part to the announcer at Amtrak, we weren't able to. We're here. Our train was in fact not there, but in fact in the middle of a forest in the middle of somewhere in Virginia, and we stopped for around 45 minutes. You feel we just got to Washington, D.C. legally?
Yeah, what do you mean legally? Can you get here illegally?
No, I mean like we just crossed the border. Legally.
Cool.
And the reason I could tell was because of the traffic. But soon enough, after 2 long stops and more than 12 hours on the train, we finally arrived at Union Station, where my brain was so fried that I had the exact same conversation. We finally made it to Washington, D.C.
Have actual lip glowing on my face.
I know, right? Yeah.
Oh.
Here we are at Union Station. Now we have to figure out where we're going. After admiring Union Station, we took the subway. God, I love public transportation. And walked a couple blocks to our hotel, all the while looking at these cool buildings and statues. We were staying at the Darcy Hotel, and it was lovely. It was a 4-star hotel, and the reason we were there was because my father had a discount through work. Justin is taking some photos right now. Here is our room at the Darcy. The people were absolutely lovely here.
They're wacky.
They were really lovely. I'm writing them a review, and I'm including them in this vlog, I think. Is that the toilet?
The bathroom.
Yeah, it's a bathroom. We didn't have much time to rest, however, because it was already 8 o'clock and we hadn't eaten since Dunkin' Donuts earlier. So we began walking to get some rockin' good food. And while walking, we ended up foreshadowing an event from tomorrow. Here we are. We started our weekend of anarchy under a picture of the Ramones, often called the first true punk band, surrounded by rock and roll memorabilia in the Embassy of Rock and Roll itself, the Washington, D.C. location of the Hard Rock Cafe. I ended up ordering a mango berry cooler and a twisted mac chicken and cheese, while Justin got the barbecue bacon cheeseburger, and it was neither legendary nor was it cheap, but it was pretty good for what it was. Before we left, we knew we had to pay our respects to the King of Rock before heading on back to our hotel. Justin, we have to re-elect Robert White.
What?
We have to re-elect Robert. Yeah. How do you feel about his policies?
I don't know, man. I don't even live here.
Fair. We eventually got back to our hotel and ended up heading off to bed. But before we start on tomorrow, here are today's stats. The second morning, we planned on doing some scouting on where to place our bomb, along with some tourist shit before the city got destroyed in the aftermath, and we most likely got arrested. Also, for some reason while planning this trip, I came up with the brilliant idea to wear a suit as I walked throughout all of Washington, D.C. in 80-degree weather. And you know what? It wasn't too miserable. However, Justin's reactions surely were.
You're wearing the suit today?
Yeah.
The entire day? Not just for the play?
Yeah, obviously. I didn't pack any other clothes.
So what should I do with this towel?
Oh, just hang it up somewhere.
Like,
Yeah. You seem so shocked. I told you I was wearing a suit.
yeah. But like, I thought that was just for the play.
No. Do you think I packed any other clothes?
Yeah, I did. I actually packed a long sleeve shirt.
Why did you pack a long sleeve
I
shirt?
thought it was shorts.
We're off. I always forget how dark it is in this hallway.
Oh, I can see that.
We began to walk 5 blocks to the White House and past the National Geographic building, which was under construction when we went. Yo, we're almost there.
Oh, it's at the White House.
Yeah. As we scouted out the White House, I thought about the history of this building that would soon become nothing more than rubble, and how this wouldn't be the first time it will be destroyed. Construction for the White House began in 1792, designed by James Hoban after winning a design competition. Washington never stayed in the White House because it took 8 years, his full term, to be built. Abigail and John Adams were the first people to actually live in the White House, despite it being unfinished, and after the Jeffersons, the Madisons lived in the White House next. They got settled in just in time for the Revolutionary War Part II, Electric Boogaloo, more commonly referred to as the War of 1812 or Madison's War. In August of 1814, the British began to invade the United States, slowly making their way down to D.C. After the U.S. defeat at the Battle of Bladesburg, Major General Ross began to get into the nation's capital, and on the evening of August 24th, 1814, the British and Canadian soldiers began to burn down the city. Government officials, including James Madison, ran away like little babies, leaving the girl boss and First Lady Dolly Madison to save irreplaceable artifacts from the founding of the nation so that they wouldn't be completely destroyed. And British General George Cockburn ordered his men to burn down the White House, the Capitol building, the Treasury, and other government buildings. As the burning of the city lasted into the morning, a storm began to roll into D.C. and put out some of the fires. The storm, however, turned into a tornado that tore through the city, and, quote, the tornado did not express such mercy to private residences and destroyed some of the city. Also, as all of this was happening, there was a lot of looting going on, some through British soldiers, but, quote, many of the looters were American citizens. USA! USA! And honestly, this whole thing is just so iconic and a total inspiration for me and my friend Justin, and exactly what we were looking for with the bombing.
Hi.
Hi.
I think this one's just off my face.
Yeah.
Hi. It's the White House. It's the White House.
It is the White House.
In Boston.
No. We're not in Boston, babes. I've told you
We're
that.
not in Boston anymore.
I made an executive decision. We're just gonna follow the birds.
I'm not too sure about that one. Don't you love the color going on with this?
I really do. It really adds to the ambiance, doesn't it?
The American audience.
Yeah, this is how it feels like to be an American, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah.
We also tried to get a tour of the White House, and we tried this by going all the way to the top.
Hello there, it's President Biden. Thanks for reaching out. I'm excited to be connected. I'm giving out this number because I want a direct communication with folks like you. I'll text here from time to time, and you should feel free to text me too. I won't be able to reply to everything. I'll try my hardest to click this link so I can reach your message and reply to you. This doesn't seem like a scam. The White House won't scam its citizens.
Text the president. Text him that you're gonna blow. It'd be so stupid.
I'm not. There's
Why not?
limits
What do
to
you?
what you can text, to what you can do.
It's not like he's reading it. He's not a real person.
President Joe Biden's in my contact list. Wow. I feel
is
honored
great.
as an American.
Yeah, you should.
I'm gonna sing the national anthem once I get home.
Why wait?
Just visit the White House and contact your representative. What does that mean?
I think you have to contact a representative to see if you're allowed in the White House. Who's our representative?
I don't know, man.
You're 19. You're able to vote.
Shoot, yeah. My congressional representative has to book this for us.
This went from being a hypothetical idea to
I
contacting.
President and I thought you texted the president and I'm too far in.
Yeah, you have to. No, we have to do this now.
Like, you don't go back after a texting the United States president.
What are you surprised you're actually doing?
Contacting my representative to get into the White House, baby.
Yeah. And it's still loading?
Yeah. Found the representative. Bishop Dan Bishop it is. Contact.
Yeah.
We're getting closer, man. Closer
We
to
got
the White
this.
House.
Yeah.
The truth is what issue this is about.
White House. Is there not a thing that just says White House?
I don't believe so.
Is it? There we go. Now it's focusing, but it's upside down, so that's fun. Tours.
Tours. Okay, so what do we text our representative?
Can we go see the White House, please? We want to blow it.
You think? You very much for your time. I got
Nice.
Mr. Biden and our representative.
You're so cool.
I still can't believe this.
Yeah, me neither. You should send him a dick pic.
To the president?
Justin and I were unable to enter the White House legally on May 25th, 2024. While we walked around Lafayette Square, checking out not only the great view of the White House, but these really cool statues, we began to put together a plan for the next day. However, we still had a full day of sightseeing left to do, so we began slowly walking to Chinatown to see the Friendship Archway. Washington, D.C.'s Chinatown was established in the 1880s, and after a brief period of displacement in the 20s, in the 30s the Chinese Americans in the area preserved their culture. I thought that I took more videos of this area, but it was really cool to check out, and if Justin liked Chinese food, or rather, quote, any non-American foods, we would have probably eaten here. Also, the Friendship Archway was built to symbolize the friendship between Washington, D.C. and its sister city of Beijing, China. It was designed by Alfred H. Liu and is made in the styles of the Ming and Qing dynasties and was completed in 1986. Afterwards, we began to make our way to the old post office pavilion, passing the National Portrait Gallery and the FBI building, where we talked probably a bit too loudly about bombing the White House. Yeah, look, there's an FBI guy. That's actually my uncle. That was in fact not my uncle, but a joke about my uncle who worked in the FBI. Keith Malarski is a former FBI agent who infiltrated the dark web under the name Master Splinter, pretending to be a Polish hacker, and worked to take down several notorious Russian and Chinese hackers. He is currently in the Spy Museum and the Law Enforcement Museum, but I was not going to spend $50 to see my uncle. Speaking of famous people from Pittsburgh, H.H. Richardson was Edinburgh's inspiration for designing the old post office pavilion. It began construction in the 1890s when it was just the post office pavilion and was the headquarters for the postal department. Currently, it is located within the high-class hotel called the Waldorf Astoria and has the bells of Congress and a touristy viewpoint where you could see all of DC from above. And the hallway to get to the elevator has this cute little museum about the history of both the building and of DC, and the glass elevator went right through the hotel, giving us a view of what I think was one of the restaurants or bars located within it. Speaking of views, here's the view from all of DC from above. At this point, we were hungry, exhausted, and needed a break from walking in the hot sun. So we walked a block to Lincoln's Waffle Shop, a family-run all-day breakfast place established in 1990, and was, fun fact, the place where Lincoln had his last meal before he walked across the street to Ford's Theater. Justin got a Diet Coke, and I got a chalky milk as we waited for our breakfast in the crowded and loud restaurant that thankfully had AC. We both got 2 fried eggs with bacon and home fries, and of course we had to get Lincoln's signature waffles, made by the head of state himself. It was pretty good, not a big fan of the syrup, and accidentally poured sugar instead of salt on part of my eggs, but it was really good, especially for $10. Afterwards, we walked across the street to Ford's Theater, the place where Abraham Lincoln saw a mind-blowing production of Our American Cousin, so we decided to check it out as well. However, they were playing Little Shop of Horrors and it was super expensive, so instead we decided to just check out the theater and museum attached to it, and then see a play later tonight. It was really cool to check out and to learn about the Lincoln assassination, and the tour guide was great. Me and Justin were super excited to check it out and to see that place where Lincoln got nerfed by what's his name? I'll give you $20 if you know the name of the guy.
You know.
What's his name? It's 3 names.
3 names?
Yes. If you get one of the names, I will give it to you.
I think only one guy killed.
Yes, it's one guy, but what's his name? He has 3 names.
Walt. Something.
No. Very close. John W.B.
John W.B.
No, John Wilkes.
Johnny Booth was a handsome devil, got up in his rings and fancy silks, had him a temper but kept it level, everybody called him Wilkes. Why did you do it, Johnny? Nobody agrees. You who had everything, what made you bring a nation to its knees? Some say it was your voice had gone, some say it was booze. They say you killed a country, John, because of bad reviews. Johnny lived with a grace and glitter, kinda like the lives he lived on stage. Died in a barn in pain and bitter, 27 years of age. Why did you do it, Johnny? Throw it all away. Why did you do it, boy? Not just destroy the pride and joy of Illinois, but all the USA. Your brother made you jealous, John. You couldn't fill his shoes. Was that the reason? Tell us, John, along with bad reviews.
After Ford's Theater, we began to make our way to the National Mall, which is essentially this giant park full of the most important museums, monuments, and buildings in America. It is also chock full of food trucks and people trying to sell you things. Also, before we started doing a loop, we decided to make our first stop at the Smithsonian's Museum of Natural History. It was really cool to check out, but due to the overwhelming crowd, being it was Memorial Day, and a lot of overstimulation, I had a tiny little panic attack.
I'm about to have a nervous breakdown. My head really hurts. If I don't find a way out of here, I'm gonna go berserk. I'm crazy and I'm hurt. Head on my shoulders. It's going berserk.
After a bit and settling down in a less crowded light pollution exhibit, I began to feel a lot better. Also, we got to see some skulls. I know, yeah.
Boston, baby.
And with that, we left natural history and passed by the Capitol building to gawk at, and also so I could recreate a photo from the first time I was in Washington 11 years ago. Then we set off to one of the coolest museums, one that I was sure Justin was just going to love. That's Air in Space right there, okay. So, apparently you need reservations for Air and Space now, but you know what we didn't need reservations for? This really cool looking fountain right outside of it. Then, to escape the heat, as it was in the high 80s and I was wearing a suit, we ducked into the National Art Museum, which Justin wasn't the biggest fan of, and we sort of just rushed through it. We mainly sort of just vibed in this strange and honestly really cool room for a little bit, trying to read some of the writings and admiring some of the art, and it also had a weird talking raven for some reason. We then took a break to smell the flowers outside of the Smithsonian Castle. We pushed through the heat and began walking to the Washington Memorial.
Spider-Man climbed that.
When did he climb that?
You know, when his schoolmates were stuck in the elevator to go up.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
We should have watched that whenever we were on the train.
You should have watched Spider-Man's documentary.
That wasn't a documentary, babe. That didn't happen.
It's been a while since I've been in your life.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Get it live on camera.
No, they're not gonna hit the memorial.
Oh.
We are currently melting. We sat in the shade for a little while, admiring the monument, till we decided to go to American history.
Yeehaw, cowboy.
Yeehaw, cowboy. As soon as we entered the Museum of American History, we were met with two things almost immediately. The first of which being refreshing AC, and the second of which being US Army propaganda.
These wars are defining moments in American history. Pivotal events that changed the world forever.
I got down some myth.
So finish up your drink and go home. I come from the land of Ben Franklin. proud and ashamed every 4th of July. You got to know the truth before you say that you got pride.
Me and Justin continued to walk through the National Mall, passing through the Washington Monument and watching the ducks in the reflection pool. Originally, we wanted to hang out by the Lincoln Memorial and get some photos and videos and stuff. However, it was construction or something, and there were a lot of people waiting in line. Also, it was super hot, and Justin didn't have good enough shoes and ended up with 6 blisters. So we ended up sitting by the shade with a view of the pool and the Lincoln Memorial before we began to slowly head back to our hotel to rest for about an hour before going to see a play near Capitol Hill. Yo, going to see a play and going to the Good Stuff Eatery. After resting for 45 minutes at the Darcy, we began to walk to the subway, with me very nervous that we were going to miss our show because the show was at 8 and it was currently 6:30. We took McPherson to Capitol South Station, then we walked past this cute neighborhood in Capitol Hill where I didn't see a bill, just a bill, sitting after a long journey to the capital city. But we did find an amazing burger spot called the Good Stuff Eatery. I got a grape soda and the Prez burger, which had bacon, onion jam, some fancy French cheese, and horseradish mayo. And also, I don't know if it was because I was starving or if it was because the burger was just that good, but it was one of the best burgers I've had in my life. Also, I don't remember what Justin got, but neither did he. At that point, we had 20 minutes to get to the award-winning Folgers Shakespeare Theater, but luckily for us, it was only 6 minutes away from the restaurant. Unluckily for us, while walking those 6 minutes, one of Justin's blisters popped. So we sat for a while and decided we would take the train to Walgreens after the show to get some blister stuff. Speaking of the show, we were going to see Metamorphoses, written by Mary Zimmerman, which is one of my favorite plays and was directed by Salmayeni 24. The set was really cool, and it was such an interesting and new adaptation to what I was expecting, and I loved every bit of it. The energy was electric, and it was hilarious as well. I would definitely suggest you see it, but it just had its last performance at time of recording. After the show, we began to make our way to the train station.
When will you realize Vienna waits for you?
We wandered around Walgreens for a little while and tried to figure out where all the Band-Aids and Neosporin were hiding. I also got an Appy Juice. Thanks, Justin's mom, for paying. And since Walgreens didn't have a bathroom, Justin wanted to try his hand at applying them at the gas station right next door. Sadly, that didn't work, and Justin convinced me there was only one way that we could get to our hotel fast enough so that he could apply his stuff and rest up for the big day of bombing tomorrow. Motorized scooters, which we took as it stormed. I obviously couldn't film any of that because I can barely ride a scooter, and I was terrified. Also, I probably ran into a few civilians. Then again, I was literally about to do an act of terrorism the next day, so it doesn't seem that bad in retrospect, does it, Justin? We got back to our hotel at around 11-ish, and before we bombed the White House, here are today's stats. And now, for the moment we've been waiting for, a year in the making, it was finally the day. It was finally time to bomb the White House. We got up at 7:30, ready, and began to slowly pack up. As I waited for Justin to shower, I did some serious planning for the event ahead. We're gonna bomb the White House. Are you ready, Justin? What? Yeah, I see. Yeah. Are you ready, Justin? We're finally gonna do it. Yeah.
I can't wait to bomb the White House.
Bomb the White House. It's not.
Boston.
It's not. It's Washington D.C.
We're in
honey.
Boston.
We're in Washington. Okay.
Boston.
Okay. Cool.
Boston. Boston.
Okay. Yeah. Are you just gonna continue to say Boston? Okay. Cool.
Boston.
Then we said goodbye and checked out of the Darcy Hotel, and began to walk 7 blocks to the White House. Yep, we're going there. Yeah. Going to bomb the White House. Yo. And we walked closer and closer to Lafayette Square to bomb the White House. The whole reason why either of us were even there in the first place. Our sacred mission. I began to have doubts. But it was all set up already, and there was not much I could do about it. We took a minute on a bench to breathe, to look at everyone there. All the people from across the world not knowing what was going to happen. All of the local animals oblivious. And I realized the blast will affect every single person there. And I wondered if it was worth it. Was it right to kill someone, to assassinate someone, no matter how bad or how much you hate their politics, and in doing so do the symbolic gesture of destroying a place of great importance? I mean, we're talking about the White House here. If it would mean that so many innocent people would die. I thought about Samuel Bick, who wanted to fly a plane through the White House to kill Nixon. I wondered if that was right. Was it right when Cockburn burnt down the White House? Was it right when Booth shot Lincoln? Was it worth it? Or Gateau, or Shulgosh, or Oswald, or Princep. I mean, this was just an inside joke. Between friends, for some stupid reason. The president got mad at me for stealing his shoelaces. But sitting there, setting it all up, it didn't feel like one. It felt real. My destiny was before me. I saw my name in history books. I, MJ Malarski, would bomb the White House. No. I was going to change the world. I just wondered if I would be labeled a hero or a terrorist. My friend Justin reassured me, though. He said,
Donde el baño. That was the words that kept me going. Back when I was young, I didn't know what I was gonna do. But now, after this, I know I can do it.
And so we set up. I got the detonator ready, handily connected to my phone, and we stood a distance hopefully safe from the blast. We said goodbye to the White House and pressed the button. And nothing happened. Maybe this was stupid. Maybe the real White House were the Holy shit, it actually worked!
We
did it!
Did it! We bombed the White House.
George Harvey's brains out with my six gun. I fought the law and I won. I fought the law and I won. Gonna write my book and make $1 million. I fought the law and I won. I fought the law and I won. I'm a newfound hero of the Ku Klux Klan. The patrons think it's fun. You can get away with murder if you got a plan. I fought the law and I won. I fought the law and I won. I fought the law and I won. I am the law, so
Works. That's fine.